Okay, do you believe in marriage?
Yes, I do believe in marriage.
And what do you believe the purpose of marriage is?
The purpose, for me personally, the purpose of marriage is that I see myself long term with this person and I want to spend the rest of my life with them. Other people have different purpose as to why they get into a marriage. Maybe it's, their cultural background thing where they just believe that once you grow up, you have to get married, you have to have children and stuff. But for me personally, it just means that I see myself with this person long term and I want to be with them until eternity.
Do you believe that love is enough to stay married?
No, I do not. Speaking from experience, you can love the person as a whole, but if the person doesn't love you back equally or is in the marriage for the wrong purpose, then it doesn't matter how much you love them, you won't stick around and put up with the foolishness that they're doing. So no, I don't think that's enough.
So what are some of the factors then that are necessary for a marriage to last?
You have to be honest with each other. If you're not honest and you constantly lie about situations and then cheating, you have to be loyal. So you can't be cheating. If you're in a marriage, you're just in a marriage with one person and not going out there to seek other things. You have to make sure that in order to stay married, you have to keep dating each other at the same time. Don't just do that because, okay, now we're married, I have this person, I no longer have to entertain or to do anything to keep them into my life. So keep dating each other, keep exploring, and try to fall in love with each other each and every day. Find new reasons to continue to love them.
Do you believe that marriage is taboo in our community?
In the Black community?
In the Black community?
I do. I do believe that it is taboo. I've seen a lot of people get into marriage for the wrong reasons, especially in the Black community now. A lot of people think that, okay, no, that because we're having a child, we have to get married, so we stay together and stuff like that. But in the Black community, we need to start looking at marriage on a whole new perspective. Personally, for me, just from seeing the way how people approach it, I think we need to start looking at it from a new perspective.
So what would you say is the number one reason our Black community would engage in marriage?
The number one reason? I don't know. Because for love, I don't think that's not enough for them to engage into that. But
would you say that it's having a child?
I would say it's 50-50. For some of them it is, and for others not so much. A lot of Black people, from speaking to some, they don't believe that you should get married. They believe being with the person for 5 years, that's basically you're married to the person, so a ring doesn't prove anything. Because a lot of people are married and you don't even know because they don't wear a ring either way. So a lot of them know, they don't believe that.
Do you believe that marriage was different in the past, even most recently in the past generation, our grandparents' generation, for example?
I do believe that it was different, yes. Reason why I say that, back then a lot of people were able to put in the work to make sure that their marriage works and it lasts long term. Nowadays people are just you know what, I throw this rag, I'm not in for this in the long haul. You don't want to work to make sure that this is work, I'm not going to do this anymore. They give up a lot easier now than they did back in the days. They were willing to fight to make sure that it was a long-term thing, and now they're just if you don't want to do this, I don't need to do this, let's just get a divorce. Divorce rate is very high nowadays, so just that is evidence to prove that they're not willing to work on it anymore.
So my name is Susan. I live in Caledon, Ontario. That's the bush part of GTA. I'm originally from Jamaica, so born in Jamaica, but of full Trinidadian descent. And my full-time job is I'm actually a clinical team manager, so I work in clinical research. But on my side hustles, I'm more into wellness and advocating for, self-care from more a holistic point of view, from movement to self-talk and those kind of things.
All right, so give us your definition of Black love.
Black love. I know a lot of people when they hear Black love think of romantic love, so external love. To me, Black love is really more about the internal. You, the person, how much do you love yourself? Because everything starts from within. You can only love outside or love someone as much as you love yourself. And a lot of, being a Black person, we come with so much intergenerational trauma that if we don't heal these things, there are parts of us that we actually don't love subconsciously. So to me, Black love is really about healing our wounds, learn to really love yourself unconditionally. From there, every relationship that you have with your race or another race is impacted on that.
So what would you say are the top 3 qualities that love really consists of?
Top 3 qualities: honesty. That's the first thing. You have to sometimes really be honest with yourself and with your partners or whoever you're interacting with. Communication is also a huge thing. You know, a lot of times we are afraid to say what we need and what we want because we don't want to upset people or we feel it's a burden. And I think the last thing is really self-awareness. How much are you in tune with yourself? You know, a lot of people, they keep asking for, you know, feeling that they're not getting what they want, but do you really even know what you want and what you need? And maybe that's the reason why you can't find that connection or relationship or union, because maybe you don't really know what you want.
How does one dig deep to find out that they really, truly love themselves?
That's hard, and I'm not going to say that there is a perfect answer for that. I feel it's a journey, and it's something that is like life work. You keep evolving, you keep digging, you keep trying to understand where your trauma spots are, your trigger spots are. I'm very pro therapy. I am a mental health advocate, mental health warrior, so I feel a lot of this is sometimes looking for help outside, getting people to sit down more objective, not family, but someone objective to sometimes go through your life story and see if maybe there are trigger points that you can work on, or at least if you're aware of it, you'd be more mindful moving forward and you understand your actions.
So how do you know when somebody is truly in love with you?
How do you know? I can't say I 100% know when someone's in love with me, but what I can say is I feel someone's in love with me when I feel safe around them. When I feel like I can be my unfiltered self, I can be a rock star and a hot mess, and they still look at me as the same person. And that plays across in, you know, family love, in like romantic love, friendships. It's the fact that I can be every version of me and they still see me, the person, and I still get that same eyes of love and respect and admiration, even at my lowest.
My name is Tariq Ansari. I'm from Buffalo, New York. I'm an educator, counselor, motivational speaker, coach, and also a co-director, co-founder of Solid Foundation Prep.
So tell us your definition of Black love.
Black love. Black love is a lot of things. You know, when I was asked to do this, like I had a million scenarios coming in my mind. And, you know, I'm pretty sure a lot of guests have answered in their own way. And Black love means a lot. You know, it means family, it means community, it means self-love. You know, but one thing that I think Black love touches on that a lot of people might miss is motivation. So when you actually love something, like if you're a spiritual person, if you love God, you want to do things that is pleasing to Him. You know, if you love yourself, you do things that's pleasing you. You want to do good for yourself. You know, you want to do good for your family. You want to do good for your community, your friends. Like that's what love brings. But you know, sometimes I feel we lose sight of that, and we kind of lose our motivation to uplift each other, uplift ourselves. You know, and you know, if we keep the real definition of Black love with us, you know, like I kind of described, I think that it makes us a lot better.
What are some of the core issues that we face as a Black community when it comes to relationships?
Some of the core values.
Core issues.
With the Black community, they think that Black men should be able to date whoever they want, whenever they want, and they shouldn't have to stick to just one female. So I think that's one of the number one reason. And then with the other one being you know what, they want to have a person in their life, but they don't want to stick around to work with that person. Like they just want to be out there in the street and being with their friends and whatever. So they're not willing to stay at home to work on their relationship kind of thing. So I don't know. It's a 50-50 when it comes on to both male and female. It comes from both sides, and they just have to try to work on things together to make sure that, you know what, they're heading in the same direction when it comes on to certain things.
What would you say your definition of marriage is?
What I believe marriage is and what it is. What I think marriage is what I grew up seeing. My parents were together for nearly 50 years until my father passed. He loved her dearly. He was a provider, he was a protector. And my mother was a loud, Trini woman with a lot of sass. And he just let her be. I think it's a partnership, it's a union, it's a mutual respect. It's not trying to control each other. It's not about being each other's trophies. It's really just, hey, you know what? Our goal is, what about a house? Okay, how are we gonna like collaborate or compromise together to get to that goal? What I think marriage is now is not that. I think marriage is a joke. Quite frankly, I don't think people understand that it's work. You know, it's not like when you're single, you put in all the work and you date, and then you get married and it's like, take off my shoes. No, the work begins then. So the problem is the expectation of what they think marriage is not aligned with what the reality is, and which is why you're seeing marriage, the infrastructure of marriage right now, especially within the Black community, is like big old question mark. When you see Black couples that survive, it's maybe because when you talk to them, they maybe still have some of the roots of a traditional structure of understanding each other's roles and dynamics, and there's communication. But there's a lot of marriages that start and end because their expectations are just not the reality. And I'm going to think of it as me, myself. My needs are going to change as I evolve as a person. So, when I look at my first marriage, I was young, I was in my 20s. My needs and expectations were different from by the time I turned 30. I think it's an evolution. And so I don't believe in having like, you necessarily need a piece of paper or you need to have strict guidelines as what your marriage or relationship looks like. But I think you have to keep communicating and doing check-ins. Where are we at now? What do you need from me now? What do you need from, it's a back and forth of, it's gonna evolve as you go along. Maybe that might also be playing a role in why sometimes marriages fall apart, is because maybe one person is still at the same spot and another person's evolved and they no longer match in terms of their needs. But I think maybe because I've had 2 failed marriages, I just don't believe it has to be very strict and structured. I believe in just communicating, seeing where we're at, and tweaking and fixing as we go along.
Welcome to the docuseries Black Love in the Six, where we go deep on all things love. Tell us about yourself. Give us your name and where you're from in the city.
My name is Ebony, and I am from Toronto, born and raised, and I'm currently a George Brown student for American Sign Language English Interpretation.
My name is Nakaya. I'm from Toronto, and I recently just graduated from York University. I studied kinesiology, and I'm working in a kitchen right now.
My name is Bernadette, born and raised in Toronto, same way, and I'm currently working for the government of Ontario.
Black love to me means loving yourself and loving what it means to be Black, I guess. And just loving what Black means to you and loving yourself because you're Black as well.
Black love to me means it is a form of self-love as well, because especially in our Western society, Black people weren't exactly praised for their color, their hair, their culture. So, loving yourself and loving, let's say, having a Black relationship with another Black person, a relationship with another Black person, shows that, self-love, looking at your own self, you're appreciating your own beauty and, your history and everything that you stand for. You're seeing it within yourself.
Absolutely, Nakaya got it right on the nose there. But
Loving yourself, appreciating yourself, knowing your worth, knowing your value, knowing what you bring to the table no matter in any type of sense, knowing that you are 100% loving yourself, loving your siblings, loving your cousins, loving everybody. That's what I consider Black love. I consider loving everything that has to do with who you are, who you were raised to be, who your parents raised you to be. What do you think are the 3 top qualities that love consists of?
3 top qualities. Okay, so self-love, self-acceptance, I would say, and forgiveness.
It's a good one. So I'll say, yeah, selflessness. Selflessness, you know, being honest with yourself, standing in your truth and standing, you know, being real with yourself. And I guess that's also acceptance. And learning from your mistakes and forgiving yourself, like adapting and being able to grow.
Definitely forgiveness, looking at yourself inward and knowing what it is that you need to change about yourself in order to make your relationships better with whomever it is, making your relationships better with your family, your friends, your partner, whoever it is, being able to forgive yourself, being able to give yourself completely to whoever it is that you decide to be with, whoever it is that you decide to be in love with, whether it's a romantic relationship or even just a friendship. Those are still types that you still love your friends, you still love your family members, you still, you know, you have those types of love. You have to be able to be selfless and give those things to other people, and understanding that, you know, not everyone is going to be on the same page as you, but you still have to do whatever it is that you can in order to make sure that you're giving a maximum amount of love to yourself. So forgiveness, selflessness, and determination. Just like knowing that this is it, and that's all that I'm going for. You're putting your foot down, and that's all that you're going for. No, not steering in any other way.
So do you think somebody could love somebody else if they don't love themselves?
Not fully. So I think a mistake, I mean, I've made these mistakes in relationships where I don't think I love myself enough to understand my own value. So get into a relationship, like I'll be all about that person. And I'll be like, yeah, you know, I'm not worried about anything that happens to me. I need to make sure I'm good for her. I need to make sure I'm doing everything for her. I need to make sure I'm doing everything right. I'm trying to be perfect. But the mistake in that is not being able to also show them my vulnerable side, show them things that I go through. And it kind of leaves them left out, you know, because they sitting there thinking like, oh, well, I know he ain't perfect, so something got to be up somewhere. You know what I mean? So, you know, trying to do things without valuing yourself, you know, kind of messes up relationships. Like you got to be able to look at yourself and be able to be vulnerable and express the things that you need. You know.
What about love at first sight?
Absolutely.
You think so?
Yeah. So I mean, you can see somebody and it's like, man, you get head over heels before you even meet them. You know, because you can that person can just be that beautiful to you. And then you gotta, you know, once you get the chance to know them, then it goes up. But when you see somebody, sometimes you just get that feeling like, you know, that person could be the one.
What about love languages? Do you believe in love languages?
I believe in love languages. I don't think I know exactly how they work. I don't think everyone has only one. I think it can change depending on your situation, depending on where you are in life. I think, yeah, your love languages do change over time, but I do believe in them, yes.
Yeah, so love languages, I also believe in them. Of course, different people love different ways and think that love should be shown in different ways. For example, some people compliments, you know, when you're complimenting your friend or your partner, you're beautiful, like to them, you know, that's showing that you love them. Other people maybe surprises, like taking them out to dinner, taking them out to the park, you know, it's just different things.
100%. Love languages definitely do exist. Definitely believe in them. And it is important that when you're in a relationship with someone, no matter what type of relationship that you're in, you communicate with that person and figure out their love language. You figure out if that's something even that you can provide for that person. Because if that's not the type of person, you already need to find someone that's also compatible with you and let them go so that they can find someone that's compatible with their love language as well.
Do you believe in love at first sight?
I think so. I don't think I've experienced it, but I think it exists. It seems like it exists for some people, so yeah.
I've never experienced it, so I'm gonna say no. I think that there's so much more than just to look at somebody and just to be like, oh, I love them. There's looks is just the surface. I think there's so much deeper. Like you could be so beautiful. You could be portraying whatever you want, but you're so ugly on the inside. Like I have never experienced it, so I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I think lust at first sight, and that's where the looking at someone and seeing the surface of everything, that comes into play, and that's what people kind of confuse with love, and they think like, oh my goodness, this person is amazing, and they could be the worst person in the world, but because they're so beautiful, and you think back to yourself, and you probably had times where you have thought that, and like, oh my goodness, they're so beautiful. You really look back on the relationship, and yeah, no, they're not a very nice person. They don't do the right things. They don't communicate well with you. They were not right for you, which is why the relationship did not work, and which is why a lot of people are sitting where they are today. But lust at first sight, absolutely. Love, no.
Satan doesn't always wear his horns out for people to see, so
There you go. And when it's right.
What is your definition of Black love?
Wow. I think it's my definition of Black love is unconditional. It's easy, it's grounded, and it's safe.
All right, so we're gonna talk a little bit about relationships now, okay?
Okay.
All right, so do you believe like each relationship when they start out should have an agreement or like a contract, either written or verbal?
Definitely think that you need some kind of, I wouldn't necessarily say it's a contract, but I would say that once you're getting to know someone and you feel like this is your person that you're going to be with, that you have to have a foundation of what is okay and what is not okay. What is, so basically what you're doing is you're building a foundation for your relationship. So if not communicating is not okay, like you need to have communication in your relationship. So on the get-go, you guys both know coming into this relationship that you guys need to communicate. So it's not really a contract, it's more of an understanding of how you guys are going to build together.
Do you believe in marriage?
I do. I feel like at times the purpose of marriage has been gone or missing at times. Sometimes people get married just because they want to get married, because they want to be a part of a certain group, not necessarily understanding that foundation of what the marriage is and how that partnership of two people coming together as one, two families joining as one, what does that mean? But I do believe that if it is out there, everyone deserves to at least experience it if that's what they want to do. It doesn't have to be that white dress. It could just be in a bathing suit at the beach. But I also don't think that you need to have a religious person there. It could just be a union. It could be your friend or a family member, just uniting both of you together in one.
So what would you think the purpose of marriage is?
Oh. The purpose of marriage, I would say, is just two people coming together and knowing that this is their relationship. This is no matter what, thick or thin, they're united, they're joined at the hip, they run the same blood, everything is joined. There's no I when it becomes marriage, it's a we. So if you have to go somewhere or
Your friends want you to go somewhere, it's a we. You gotta check in. You're making arrangements for your children. It's a we, it's not an I.
So do you think love is enough to stay married?
No, I don't think love is enough to stay married, because you can love someone but not be in love with someone. You can love someone from afar as friends, but knowing that you guys cannot be together as one. Love is not enough. There's more to a relationship than love.
Do you think marriage is taboo in our Black community?
I feel like we don't have enough of it. And I feel like we need to do more for the ones that have it, we need to do more to keep it. However, in our community, I feel like, from my experience, we do a lot to stay with our partners or our husbands and wives because of what we feel like or we're feared to give up. At times there might be a lot of investments in children that we will risk our own happiness just to stay in that marriage or that relationship.
What do you think is the number one reason that Black people get married today?
I think a lot of people get married out of, I don't want to use love so loosely, because a lot of people, I feel, once they get together, they realize this is not my person, but I'm already too deep and I can't go anywhere. This is what it is. But then we have other religions that, you never see the person and they're so in love. You have TV shows that is Love is Blind, and you have all these other outlets where you can look to say, okay, well, the love worked, so how come it's not working in our community? What is going on in our community? And a lot of times, yes, we are a little bit hard-headed. Communication is one of the biggest, I would say, that we don't have a lot of, or we don't know how to express ourselves. Especially if something's going on, we're so heartstrong where it's like, oh no, I got it, I can do it, don't worry. And a lot of us say that it's okay, we can be by ourselves and we don't need to have that partnership. However, the ones who are married, kudos to them, and I hope it's, I hope they have a long-lasting, forever relationship. But sometimes when we get married in our community, it could be also out of friendship. And sometimes it could also be because we make a contract. And that contract will be in 10 years from now, if you're not married, we're gonna get married. Or it could be, I'm gonna help you with your papers, and you're married. Some people are stuck. I've heard so many stories of people are stuck in that kind of relationship.
So what is your idea of Black love in the future?
Oh, Black love in the future, I hope, as being a wedding planner, and that was one of the reasons why I became a wedding planner, because I love love, and I hope that love continues genuinely, genuine, authentic love.